Hello everybody, hello VC, Oliver. For a new video, I decided to do a video for the Vinyl Tag 2019 for several reasons. I mean, first of all, I mean I only started to do some videos some months ago, even if I'm watching video on YouTube for many years already. It took me some time until I decided to do videos on my own, but now look. I started a channel. I don't have a lot of subscribers so far, so I hope that it will increase over time. But I mean, at the end, look, I will come back on the last question on the reasons which pushed me to do these videos and be on YouTube. But I'm really looking forward to do this Vinyl Tag 2019. It's as well a nice opportunity to think about some relevant questions and think about what you like in your collection and what you could share with the rest of the vinyl community. So let us start with the first question. First one is Agitation Free with the album Malesh. It's a German band, krautrock band, prog band, from the early 70s, and it's a band from Berlin, from the so-called Berliner School. I already had this album as a later repress, probably from the last 5 years or 6 years or so. But this one is a original, let's say, second press, right? Which comes on Vertigo. It's a great album. For those who don't know, I really recommend to check out online if you like krautrock. It's a really rare album, so it's a gem, which I got for an incredible price. It's unfortunately not the Vertigo Swill label. It's the second press, so with the spaceship label. But even these albums with the spaceship label are still really rare, and they go for a lot of money. So I was lucky to find this one. I just found it just before Christmas. I went back to France for vacations, and I went to my favorite record shop, where I don't go as often anymore because I don't live in France anymore. But each time I'm going back, I'm going there. I'm a good friend with the owner. I bought a lot of record there, so he has always some special attentions for me. And when I got there, he told me, "Oh, look, Oliver, I just acquired recently, a collection with records. So if you go in the back of the shop and look at the box, I didn't put them so far on the shelves. But look in the box. If you want something, I give it to you for, $25, right?" I say, okay, great. And I went there, and this one was in for $25 or €25, right? I mean, and this one goes for much more money. So I was really happy to find this one, and it's probably one of my best find of 2018. I took another record because look, when we speak about best find, I think that's not a record which is difficult to find, right? Lamb of God. But, I mean, I put it as my best find for 2018 because in reality it's the band which I discovered in 2018 and which I really like. I mean, I discovered it because I went, during the summer, at the end of the summer last year, I saw Slayer in concert in Atlanta. And, before Slayer, you had several bands playing. They started with Testament was playing, Anthrax was playing, and then Lamb of God came. And Lamb of God is an American band from Virginia. It's a kind of trash death metal, thrash metal band. And I didn't know the band at all, and that was for me, a great concert and a great discovery. So I decided to go for one of their album, and I will probably get some more because I really like what they are doing. Next question is, to do a shout out to you know, channels and VC members which deserve more subscribers. I think, look, I will give you a list of different people from whom I really love the channel. I mean, look, they have already a lot of subscribers, much more than I have at least. And you know, but again, I believe my kids are watching a lot of videos on YouTube and lots of different channels, and they sometimes watch videos on channels where you have millions of subscribers, and these channels are really, in my view, crappy. And you know, you don't learn anything, people gaming or whatever. I don't like this type of channels, right? So again, the people I will just list now, the channel I will list, they have already, you know, lots of subscribers, but again, I believe that they deserve much more. So the one, I think there is no specific order in these channels, but Vinyl79 is a channel that I like. Sublime Media, a great channel. I mean, if you know, want to discover prog rock from you know, from Danish prog rock or Scandinavian prog rock, that's definitely a channel that you should check out. Nico Malcolm, I mean, you know, Nico, a great channel. I learned many things there. I have seen many records which I bought later. I really love this channel. Holspa Metal, Rene, I mean, really, you know, one of probably the nicest guy on BC, and he's doing great videos. He's really passionate. He's a real metalhead. Corey, I mean, Corey's channel is great. I mean, look, if you like hard rock from the 70s, that's definitely a channel which I recommend. Cloudy Murder, I mean, Cloudy, again, a great guy as well. I mean, doing really nice videos and really knowledgeable on especially thrash metals. It reminds me when I was a kid and I was listening a lot to thrash metal. I still have a lot of records. I still buy new records in thrash metal and I still listen to them. So, you know, Cloudy Murder, I mean, you know, a great channel as well. And last one but not least, I mean, Noble Records. I mean, Dylan, he's from the US, North Carolina. I mean, a great guy. He's buying a lot of records, he's buying huge collections, and I'm always impressed when I see what he buys, because look, I'm living in the US for some years now. I bought a collection as well some time ago, but I'm always checking out a bit everywhere, you know, on the net to find collections in Georgia where I'm living, and I struggle to find such great collection that Dylan is finding. So again, Noble Records, Dylan, definitely another channel that I recommend. So far, I didn't really, you know, dig in much more, but I really love the stoner rock style, because it, you know, sounds a bit like the 70s early, you know, Black Sabbaths, and you know, which is really a period of you know, or type of music which I really like. So I decided, I mean, my intention going forward is to fill some holes in this genre, stoner rock, psychedelic rock, and you will see as well that the last record I bought is in this genre. So I will come back to that later. So next question, question number 4, a cheap album that's really good. I showed this record in a former video. So it's a band called Zephyr. It's a great album that you can find really for less than $10. I could have put this record in another question, right, with the bad cover or whatever, but I decided to put something else. But Zephyr, again, a really good album. It's a kind of blues rock album, really good guitar, and you know, the singer, which is here, she's Candy Givens, and her voice is really great, and she's playing harmonica as well on the record, and she has a voice which is really close to Janis Joplin, and the music is really great. And the guy you see here is Tommy Bolin, which is you know, which later went to play with Deep Purple, and only for 2 albums, I think. But again, a really good album that you can find for, you know, a really cheap price. Next one is question number 5, your favorite side project album. I decided to put Twisted Sister because you know, that's I was thinking, you know, several times what could I show as a side project album, and you know, this Twisted Sister album, I mean, I'm not sure if it's my favorite you know, side album, but at least it's a Christmas album, which for a band like Twisted Sister we could call probably a side project album, right? Yeah, it's a good album. I mean, I listen to it at least once a year at the Christmas period. So yeah. Next question number 6, a song from an artist's band which is uncharacteristic of their catalog. I was a bit struggling with this one. I thought about AC/DC and you know, on the album Who Made Who, but which was the song Ride On, but I mean, different people have shown this song already, so I was looking for something different, and I decided to go for ZZ Top, the first album, and the song which I find really uncharacteristic or a bit different from what they did later is Brown Sugar. I mean, of course, some of you, you know, might say, oh, but look, the early ZZ Top is a bit like that or whatever, but you know, ZZ Top got really renowned in Europe, at least later than with this first album, when they had songs which were more rock songs, and you know, in the 80s, and this song Brown Sugar is really, you know, a really great blues song. And I did some blind tests with some friends in the past, which, you know, which like ZZ Top, which like hard rock music. They are maybe not as deep as we are, you know, in this community on music, but none of them was able to recognize ZZ Top. So that's a song which I would take for this question. The last album you purchased. So the last album I purchased is this one, Cosa Sui, and the title is Free Ride. And that's coming back to what I said before. It's a stoner rock album. I have some other online purchase I'm waiting for, and again, that was it's my intention for 2019, you know, to fill a hole in stoner rock, psych rock, right, or psychedelic stoner rock. And yeah, and that is one record and one band which will fill this hole, and it's my last purchase. Next question, a bad album, or no, a great album, sorry, with a bad cover. So yeah, it was not an easy question. I have seen you know, some people using or showing the some albums which I would have as well choose as probably album with not such great cover, and I decided to go for this one. So sorry for my pronunciation, but Rumpelstiltskin. I don't get this cover, right? It's a kind of cartoon. I mean, it's a cartoon which tells you a story, so the cartoon, the drawings are, in my view, not the greatest, and then the story is a bit weird. I don't really get why they did that, right? So, but the album, I mean, it's a, you know, a kind of blues rock, psyche rock, and but really a great album. For those who don't know, I highly recommend to check it out online. The cover, again, in my taste, I don't get it. I don't get this cover, and has nothing to do with the album, in my view. On the other side, I mean, a great cover for a bad album. I'm a big fan of Iron Maiden. For those who have seen my video, I mean, I'm collecting Iron Maiden, so I have all albums from Iron Maiden, and look, that's what I would call a filler, right? I went for you know, this album, Virtual 11 from Maiden, because I want to have all the Maiden's album. The cover is really great. The artwork is really nice. I think for me, you know, it's maybe even amongst the best artwork from Maiden, even if Eddie is, you know, a bit changed here, you know. So probably the one who really like, you know, the Eddie image or whatever might not prefer this one. But anyhow, it's a really great album cover. The inside of the cover is great as well. It's a gatefold. you know, where you have some nice pictures of the band, and you know, so everything is fine except the music, in my taste at least. A blues record. I decided to go for this one, Robert Johnson. I mean, the king of the Delta blues. I mean, it's a really good album. Lots of, you know, classic songs, and all the songs from Robert Johnson. I don't think that he did a lot of album, or I think so far I know, I mean, all these songs were kind of recorded separately and they put that together later, right? But you have the Crossroad Blues, which is a, you know, famous song and great song. Come on in my kitchen, sorry, which is as well a classic blues song, which have been, you know, which other singers took later. Johnny Winter song this one. Yeah, so Rambling on My Mind as well, you know, so really some really classic from, you know, blues genre with Robert Johnson. Question 11 is about a song that you love and you have in your mind, in your head all the time. So I decided to take this song, which is, you know, a song which was originally written by Bo Diddley, and which is Who Do You Love? First time I heard this song was on this album from UFO, the album number 1 from UFO, and yeah, Who Do You Love? You have here the live version, which is great, on the Live in Japan from UFO, a second version of the Live in Japan. And I like so much this song, and I have it in my mind all the time, and I sing it so often. I was looking for other versions, so you have here the version from George Thorogood and the Destroyers, and a version from John Hammond. So all those versions are really good. You have it here, Who Do You Love? All those versions are, as I said, really good, but my preferred one stays the UFO one, which is a great one. Next question is about historical important artists. So obviously there are many important and you know, historical artists, but I decided to take Johnny Winter because I really love Johnny Winter. And you know, there is some emotion around the Johnny Winter as well for me, because I saw him on stage some weeks before he passed away, and that was in France, in east of France, in a really small venue. Less than 100 people were there, and when he came on stage, I mean, he was even not able to walk anymore. He was probably 70 plus. So yeah, there were two guys you know, helping him to come on the stage. He sit down, and once he was seated, right, he started to play, and wow, that was amazing, really great. So Johnny Winter, for me, really an historical artist who unfortunately passed away some years ago, but for me the best and the greatest white guitar and singer, blues white guitar and singer, right? And look, I took a second one here because, you know, yeah, I really love Ozzy Osbourne, and I love Black Sabbath. I love everything they did. So Ozzy, the Prince of Darkness, I mean, yeah, Ozzy, a great guy. He's still alive. I saw him on stage last year in Florida. I will go to see him end of May with my young son here in Atlanta. So yeah, Ozzy, definitely a really important and historical artist in my view as well. Next question is about an album I own because of my parent, and yeah, that will be this one, Harry Belafonte. I found this record some years ago in Rio, and I was there in a shop and I was digging in the crate, and I saw these records, and when I saw the records I said, wow, look, I need to buy it, because this record has a lot of memory for me. I mean, my parents had this record, and I remember as a kid when I was probably 3-4 years old that my parents were spinning this record at home. So when I saw the record, I mean, I paid nearly nothing for it, and I went for it. I mean, it's not really my taste, but at the end there are some not bad songs on it. Probably some songs that the people know, right? Banana Boat, Deo, which is a really famous song. I mean, it's a song that they play in the Beetlejuice in the movie as well. So yeah. Next one is the best dollar bin record. Look, I don't buy any more dollar bin record just because I don't find anything which I want, I like, or I don't have. If I look in my collections, which I did over the last 30 years, probably I have, some records which I bought for, let's say, some bucks, right? I mean, $1 to $5, and I just took Boston because, I mean, this record is definitely a record that you can find in dollar bins, or for a few bucks, and it's not a bad record, right? It's a classic rock record, and the first album from Boston with the famous song More Than a Feeling. Next one is my favorite double album. Yeah, I just decided to go for Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. That's a really, really good album in my view. I love it. Following question, an album that I learned about from VC. Yeah, that's Life, which is a progressive rock album from Scandinavia. I think, if I remember correctly, it's a Danish band, and yeah, I have seen this record the first time on VC in a video from Sublime Media, and it's not the original one. It's a later reissue, but I found this record in Atlanta in a record shop, and I was there and looking in the crate, and if I would have not seen this record before on YouTube, probably I would even not have paid attention. Yeah, and it's a really good record, a really great record, and I got it thanks to Sublime Media. Next one, it's a 10-inch record that I own. So I have only 3 10-inch record in my collection, so I was not really able to decide which one I want to show. So I will show the 3 of them, because in my view the 3 are good bands, but the 3 records are not so great in my taste, because they don't have really famous songs or the best songs on it. So Status Quo is one of them. The other one is Judas Priest, which is coming from a Redeemer of Soul album. So I like Judas Priest, but the songs here are, again, in my view, not what they did the best. But it's good to have, it's nice to have for the collection. And the third one I have is Kiss. I'm not a big Kiss fan. This record is okay, there are some good songs, famous songs. I really like it. I mean, the cover is really nice, as you can see. And yeah, it's a limited edition done for the Kiss fan club in Japan. And yeah, if you look at the songs, I mean, there are many great songs or good songs from Kiss. Even again, if I'm not a big Kiss fan, but Shoot It Out, Loud, Detroit Rock City, Love Gun, some good songs. Next one, a 7-inch record. Yeah, I decided to go for this one. The Sandoz tape from Iron Maiden. That's a great record. Unfortunately, that's not an original, it's a copy. It's a really good copy. I mean, if you look at the description of the original and if you look at this copy, I mean, it opens from the top. You know, the label of the record is exactly the same as well. So it's a really good copy from the original, but it's not the original. But anyhow, I think you know, it's a great record. The originals are going for a lot of money, so I will definitely probably never own an original, but I'm happy to have this copy, and yeah, I went for this one. Last question. An album that, or last question, it's not the last question, but we are getting to the end. So an album which I like to listen to and to sleep in listening to it. So that's a band which is called Sweet Smoke, and this album is Just a Puck. I think it's a band, I mean, it's a band which it was a German band. I mean, it was American guys who moved to Germany in the 70s, and they did this album when they were living in Germany. And Sweet Smoke is really famous, or is famous. I mean, or you find it in shops or on eBay and in Europe. In the US, I've never seen a copy of Sweet Smoke in the US anywhere. Not sure why. Maybe, look, I didn't just go to the good place, but you know, it's a really good album. I love it. I mean, I love Sweet Smoke. They did 3 albums, and here I will show you 2 albums. And why 2? Because, you know, the question was, you know, the album which I listen to, or I like to listen to when I get into sleep. But in reality, I have as well the Sweet Smoke album on my iPhone. I download them on iTunes, and when you download on iTunes, both albums are coming together. So I often listen to it when I travel, and I sleep in listening to it. But not only this album, it's a combination between this album and the next one, which is Darkness to Light, which is as well a really good album. Just a Puck is the other album is more easy to find. This one, Darkness to Light, is more rare and more difficult to find, but it's a really good album. The first one I show is more, yeah, progressive jazz rock. This one is more progressive psychedelic rock, but really good. So you have a nice picture of the band, Sweet Smoke, Darkness to Light, and I really love both albums.